Welcome to the LA Business Podcast, your destination to hear stories of how businesses grow and scale. I'm Robert Brill, CEO of BrillMedia.co and the host of this podcast. Now, let's jump right into this week's interview. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the LA Business Podcast. My name is Robert Brill, and today our guest is Solyman Najimi, founder and president of Juka Innovations Corporation and the Shroom Company. The company designs and markets innovative drain protection solutions for every drain in the home. The products can be found in over 30,000 retail locations across North America. Solyman, thank you for being with us today. You know, the core of this podcast is really we want to understand how businesses grow and scale. Tell us a little bit about how you started the business, how long you've been in business, and tell us about your growth story.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started with a product called Tub Shroom, which is it's like a mushroom-shaped strainer for bathtub drains, and we wanted to test the market first before we really spent a lot of money on it, and we went the crowdfunding route because we had a little bit of experience prior to it, some failed experience, but it was experience nonetheless, and so we launched on Kickstarter, and in the beginning of 2016, and the response was really, really good. I think we raised over 50K at the time, and then we moved over to Indiegogo as well. So that immediately told us, the product, people are responding to it, and it's something they need, and it's a problem that they really have. So
what's
we were excited.
Yeah. So Solyman, what's the fundamental problem you guys are solving here right now?
Yeah. So almost everybody has a clogged drain in their lifetime. Sometimes they have it, every year, every couple of months. It depends on how long their hair is, how many people are in the household, if they have pets. The more of that stuff, the higher the probability of clogged drains. And a lot of people, they just wait until the drains clog, and then they buy, an acid-based liquid cleaner like Drano, and they pour it down the drain. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's not good for the environment. It's not a great solution. So they have to call their plumber if it doesn't work. And plumbers these days, they could charge $150 or more just to get through the door. So we said we have to do something better.
So you're steadily putting plumbers out of business.
Well, no, we're augmenting them.
You're helping them be more profitable, pass on the cost savings to the customer, okay, as well as driving some margin for the plumber. That's great. So, what was your experience prior to this? Like, how did you? I mean, I don't imagine you wake up one day and say we're going to do this. I imagine you've had some learnings over the course of your career that led you to the point in 2016 where you started your business. What led up to that point?
Yes. So I have prior to this, I have experience in managing a business, quite large business. It was a family business. It is a family business, and I was one of the managers there. And so that gave me logistical experience and some marketing experience, which did help here. And then immediately prior to Juka Innovations, I for about 2 years, I really focused on Amazon sales and learning the ecosystem. And that paid off as well because of that experience, what to do and what not to do. We didn't have to reinvent the wheel with Tub Shroom, and we were able to really scale quickly online because we had great success on Amazon and just resonated with the customer. So definitely experience.
So Solyman, the family business, what were you selling there?
We have in New York, Long Island State in New York, and in Woodside, New York, we had warehouses that distribute to convenience stores like gas stations and mom and pop shops. So we had over 3,000 items and stuff like batteries, Duracell, and medicines, and those little convenience items that you find, and that we've been doing for a while.
So basically, Solyman, your family business was shipping all of the random stuff you find at liquor stores, other than the liquor.
Yeah, well, not alcohol items, but stuff like Tylenol 2-packs and
Sure.
convenience items. and we did, we do deliveries and UPS freights, pallet freight. So all of that definitely helped in operating this business and selling it fast.
So that's really interesting. I've gone into my fair share of liquor stores and wondered how in the heck does the guy behind the counter, who I assume is the owner of the business, how does he have the bandwidth and resources to source everything from detergent to all the great booze to the 2 packs of Tylenol? And now I know there's a singular company that does all of that. That's fascinating.
Right. Yeah, there are several companies. Yeah, and if we keep 3,000 items, and a lot of, like, for example, a 7-Eleven or a gas station, they may have like 10,000 items or 5,000 items, and it's all these little tchotchkes and everything. So it's quite an ordeal. It's a fun business. I got tired of it though.
So I imagine in the family business you learned about logistics and distribution. You certainly learned about, so in the family business, how does that apply to Amazon? What were you doing on Amazon? That's actually very
uh,
interesting.
yeah. So I figured, we had to try to diversify, and I personally wanted to just try different things. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. So I saw Amazon as a huge opportunity, sort of like a wild, wild west. And we already sourced a lot of commodity products. And I did some research on Amazon, discovered that some of those, a good portion of those, can be taken to Amazon and sold in maybe 3 packs, bulk packs, 5 packs, or maybe nobody was selling it already. So I try to do some sort of arbitrage that way, because we didn't. It's not like I had to rebuild the whole business. It was more like an add-on, and that worked quite well. We were doing millions in sales just converting over the products we already had.
So that's really interesting. So and what were the most successful items that you could sell on Amazon?
Yeah, things like, things like combs, things like lip chapstick and stuff like that. That, I guess, before to that, there wasn't that many sellers that were really, taking those kind of items to Amazon. And then from there, I also tested private label products to see if I could have success that way, and also products that I and we designed on our own. So we have some kind of something that's defensible versus just, like, the branded product.
Okay, so with your current business, how, like, did you design the product? Like, how did you decide that, okay, this is the thing that I'm gonna go to market with? Because I mean, you can sell stuff on Amazon and you can sell 2 packs of Tylenol, but how do you design like something that unclogs toilets? That would be like,
Yeah, yeah. So right prior to this, my my partner, his name is Serge. He passed away a few years ago, unfortunately. And he we both, would always riff off each other on ideas and products, and we came up with a bunch of stuff prior to this. And they didn't have much success, but then with this product, we made a actual prototype using PVC, and it looked, it worked really, really well. So we took that, we made a 3D printed prototype, and we tested that worked really well. So we said, you know what, if we make this into silicone, it should work just as well, because the shape is all there, the holes are all there, everything that's needed. And that's what we did. It was just step by step by step, and the final step in gaining confidence was that crowdfunding. That not only brought in money to fund it, but to give us that sort of proof of concept.
so I'm sharing on the screen right now what it looks like, just so that
Yeah.
folks can see. So this is the thing that's building your business. That's fascinating, man. So the final product is Tub Shroom. Okay, so you crowdsourced in 2016.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So how did you continue to grow your business?
Uh,
Like, what happened after the crowdsourcing?
so after we crowdsourced, yeah, I immediately knew we had to Amazon, and using my experience on Amazon, I was able to follow best practices, and we used the momentum of a lot of virality that we got when we launched on crowdfunding. A lot of our videos were shared by a lot of people on social media, so we just piggybacked on that and kept kept that momentum going, and we pushed a lot of that traffic, the emails we were able to gather, the social media following we were able to gather. We pushed that to Amazon, and that gave us momentum on Amazon. And even though we started with the one item, the Tub Shroom, we knew we had a plan. We had like 5-year plan in mind. Okay, we need the similar product, that's essentially the same product. We have to modify for bathroom sinks, so we call that the sink shroom. Modified for stand-up showers, for toilets, for kitchen sinks. So there's only so many drains in the house. There aren't that many, but we wanted to make sure we had something for all the drains. And during that time, we approached a lot of the big boxes. One of our first customers was Bed Bath and Beyond, and they were a lot more receptive to single or double SKU startups, to test in there. And we appreciate that, and that really helped us because they're like, okay, we saw your success on crowdfunding, we're going to give you a try. And thankfully, thankfully the test was great, and then they rolled out like within 6 months to all their stores, and like they have like, I don't know, over 1,500 stores. So right there, we had another revenue stream in addition to Amazon, and then we just knew, let's just keep pushing.
So you crowdfunded, you went to Amazon, then you went to retail, yes?
Yes. And then we added the SKUs. Every year we added 2-3 new SKUs.
And how do you know what to add? Like, how do you like determine what the next product is? Is it what people ask for? Do you get feedback?
Yeah, part of it is feedback. Part of it is sort of, we have a roadmap in mind. So we take the feedback, we take our roadmap, and we also see, what would be the lowest hanging fruit next. So after Tub, the drain that we saw with the most demand was the bathroom sink. So that's where we went to next. Then we went to the kitchen sink drain. Then we went to the shower drain. Then we went to the toilet. So we sort of, it was a mix of those different factors. And then whatever like sort of felt right to us. And thankfully, pretty much everything we've launched, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2, have really been nice home runs for us.
So when you talk about selling, I imagine the big change in the world was 2020 and COVID and all that stuff. Retail is down overall. However, your product is in the home, which makes it even more valuable in 2020 and 2021 because people are spending more time in the home. What's the net effect of COVID for your business?
Yeah, so that's a good question. At first, in March, April of last year, a lot of our POs from our retail customers dried up, and that we were freaking out because like these stores are closing, they're freezing POs, they're canceling POs. When are they going to open? We didn't know if it was going to be 2 months. We didn't know if it was going to be 6 months or a year. So that really freaked us out. And then online sales, actually, in the beginning, in the first month or so of COVID, when it was really expanding, slowed down a bit too. So we got really concerned. I didn't want to let workers go. We had a warehouse running. It was really stressful in a lot of ways. But then after about a month or a month and a half, we said, you know what, we're going to use this time to develop new products. We're going to use this time to organize our warehouse. We're going to use this time to just keep doing outreach. And thankfully, online, started to uptick because I think people were home more. The drains were clogging even more. People were online shopping more. So it's sort of the net effect, thankfully, was by the end of the year, we had a strong end of the year holiday season. So that got us back in a great position. And we were frankly, I was quite surprised.
So I'm curious, are you telling me that people are buying these as gifts?
Yes. So people buy them as gifts. A lot of people who move into new homes, they buy them because just in that mode. And then
Sure.
we do a ton of outreach through social media, and we get a lot of publicity also, like through Buzzfeed. They love our product. Pages like that that love to talk about cool gadgets. We often get a lot of organic, just organic traffic, which is awesome. per.
So is your I mean, I was going to ask you, how do you make a video about that that's related to this product? Because it's a very specific niche.
Yeah.
It's like it's disposable, not disposable, but it's like you don't spend a lot of a person doesn't spend a lot of their time thinking about hair clogging their drain, right? I imagine.
Yeah, yeah. It's so that's a challenge. So a lot of people, a lot of companies that have success on paid ads on social and Google, uh, a lot of times their products maybe might retail for more than $50, $40, because they could sort of scale by having enough of margin to sort of fund that. But our product's more of an impulse, so that was a challenge to really spend profitably. But we did have, a few videos where we just showed a whole bunch of hair going. It was my partner's hair just going into the drain, and that sort of was like a shock factor in a way. Like when people saw it, it kind of caught their attention. And then we showed the product lifting out of the drain with the hair wrapped up neatly on it and easy to clean. So it was like it only took like 15 seconds, 20 seconds, but that video went, that and a few other videos went viral for us because I guess people were like, wow, this is cool. Let me show it to my friend. People were commenting. Some people say, hey, that's gross. Some people said, yo, I need that. Whatever, it was gross.
So how does BuzzFeed how does an organization like BuzzFeed find you? Like, are you actively reaching out to them? Do you work with PR people? Like, what's that? Or is it just like you're in the market and people are hearing about you?
It's a combination. So sites like BuzzFeed and the like that do a lot of listicles. Here's your top 10 bathroom products you should look for. Here's your top 10 green products. They often look at on Amazon, see what's selling well, see what's converting, see what has great reviews. Thankfully, we have all those. And a lot of times they just pick us naturally. And then a lot of times there's outreach. We do have a PR firm we work with. It's a boutique firm. They do a lot of outreach on our behalf. And our product's not that hard to sell, thankfully, because of all the other proof that we have, social proof, reviews. If you combine all our reviews on Amazon, it's like, I think like 130,000 reviews, which most of which are 5-star, which is, the best thing, because we go to a retail buyer, for example, of a national chain. We just say, hey, look at our reviews. People love it. It should, converts elsewhere. It should convert for you also as well.
Was there a strategic effort to attain that 130,000 reviews? Honestly,
Um,
I mean, look, if you tell me, look, we're gonna have this product, it's gonna be low cost, it's gonna be exceptionally valuable, and here's our marketing strategy. We need 100,000 reviews.
yeah.
That's a decent strategy. Like, you could sell me on that strategy. Like, the reviews are going to sell the whole thing. We got to get those reviews. If you tell me that, you take credit for that, I'd be like, that's genius.
If only it was that easy. Like if you look at the numbers, only like a few percentage, maybe 1-2% of people who buy a product leave reviews.
Right.
So it's like you can't force anyone to leave reviews. And some people on Amazon, they do shady tactics. We don't do that. We've built these reviews in over 5-6 years, and I think our product, thankfully, is a type where either the user, like, they really love it. Once they use it, they're like, oh man, this solved my problem. Let me go leave a review. Or some people, they might leave a negative review. For example, if they got a weird drain, they might leave a negative review and there, but it happens. So then we try to, be proactive. We reach out to them and say, hey, maybe you could try this other product of ours, or maybe we can exchange a product or whatever.
What are some of the key milestones in the growth of your business? Did retail? Actually, I do have one more specific question. When you talk about retail, I hear a lot of consumer products trying to get into retail. It's exceptionally challenging. They require media spend to support. It seems like there's gatekeeper after gatekeeper. Can you tell us a little bit about that process?
Yeah, it's very challenging to get into big box retail a lot of times. So you have to use a combination of avenues. Sometimes you have to go through a distributor that's already in that retailer with many products. because the retail buyer often doesn't want to deal with one or two SKU startups that might not know what they're doing, or that might make some mistakes, or thankfully we had some experience, so we make many mistakes. But we also another way is also to try to reach out to sales representatives, brokers, who also have great relationships with the buyers, because these buyers see thousands of products, I think literally weekly or sometimes even daily, and they just they don't have the time. They give you a few seconds, if you email them or if you even find their email, and unless you have within a few seconds, unless you can really capture their attention, and something like our success on crowdfunding that catches our eye, or our number of reviews, the success we've had elsewhere. It is a challenge, there's no way around that. And I guess I would end that by saying having a compelling product is vital. If you just have a Me Too product that's not that innovative or doesn't have IP protection, it's very difficult to get in front of them, especially if you only have a few SKUs. And then the other thing is you have to hustle. It's a lot of hustle and a lot of no's in your face.
Right. I went to a conference a couple of years ago, the Inc. 5000 conference, and we saw A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, talk. And he's one of the best, most well-known baseball players ever. And he framed baseball as you're the best when you only lose, I don't know, 3 out of 10 times. When you miss the ball only 7 out of 10 times and hit it 3 times, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a game of losing the least in pitches and strikes and strikeouts and hitting and the whole thing. And I imagine mindset. I look at these pictures and I think about the mindset of the folks who are maybe going through a slump or whatever, and having to deal with the no's of the process. I imagine having experience in the family business, I imagine you've had your fair share of no's, because that's what business is a lot of times, and trying to figure out grow that muscle to be able to come out with a yes takes some effort. You've had your fair share of no's, I imagine. What are some of the learnings? You mentioned a lot of it, right? Like, you got to have a good product. You got to have the stick-to-itiveness. Like, what's something that you can share with an entrepreneur that might be valuable for them?
I could give some examples. Like, I've had to go through and try and test maybe a dozen or more sales representatives. Most of them didn't work out for us for whatever reason. Either the connections weren't great, they weren't confident in our product, or whatever it was. And then to be able to narrow it down to maybe one or two, really good ones. So I think the lesson there is like the baseball analogy. You'll have a lot of misses, but if you go through, like, if I would have quit after the first or second, then I might not have found the 1, 2, or 3 that really worked out for us, and they're driving a good portion of our business, helping us open some new accounts. So you got to stick with it. I think that's a good example that I went through, and knowing that if I had to do it again, I know what it takes. I wouldn't quit after the first, second, or third try that didn't work out.
And I'm muted. Sorry.
Yeah.
How do you delineate the workload within your organization? If you think about I don't know if you manufacture in the U.S. or elsewhere. When you think about the marketing, when you think about the admin business process, who does what within your organization? Not necessarily the names. I'm much more interested in how the roles are broken out.
Yeah. So from the beginning, I knew I wanted to be as lean as possible. I just come off managing a business that had 50 plus employees, and and that's a challenge. And I knew, listen, I don't want to run a business and have to manage such a huge organization. So we stayed lean. We have a team of like 6 or 7. Half of those are sort of, handle orders. Some help with marketing. So we've split functions, but then we've augmented that with a lot of outsourcing. Strategic outsourcing. For example, the PR agency, some sales reps, some marketing help. Uh, Maybe some agents on the ground overseas, to help us source some new products, find some new factory partners. Um, so all that, has worked out really well for us and let us, run this quite, I think, lean organization and pretty well-oiled machine.
What is your primary, which channel is most important to you right now? Is it online? Is it Amazon? Is it retail?
Um, I think it's split. I think it's like 50 online and offline, but so they're both, incredibly important. They sort of both play off each other because a lot of the promotions we do online to sort of drive online naturally helps offline sales. It helps lift all channels. So
Do you
they
see
go hand
that?
in hand.
Do you see it? Do you see it like? Do you take the actions of like cultivating an email list? Do you
Yes.
send those people emails? What do you put in your emails when you're when your product email?
Yeah, so you can't be spammy. You can't like spam people, otherwise they're just gonna unsubscribe. So we do maybe monthly specials and coupon code, or and we also try to give them a little bit of value by sharing with them some best practices, not only how to use our products, but maybe some tips in the bathroom, in plumbing, drains, in general, stuff that we've learned over the years, and then we write about, and sort of. So there's the email is not just, hey, look at us, we're awesome. No, it's more like, hey, if you're still having drain issues, we're here. But if you're not here, check out this article. It might be interesting to you, and that's worked really well.
Is there any interest in working with professionals, with plumbers and whatnot, and or do you think they buy your product anyway, or do you think that it makes sense to approach them as a new channel opportunity?
Um, so we've had some plumbers and some sort of plumbing supply mom and pops. They carry our products. So they're the type who they want to help their clients sort of not have that clog issue anymore. So they make some money off selling our product, but I think their most of the revenue comes from bigger projects, installation projects, new homes and stuff like that. Um, some and I would imagine maybe some of the independent plumbers maybe they're not crazy about some of our products only because it if they want the business sort of it it leads to less clog drain, so they might not be crazy about that. But we haven't really faced any hate from plumbers. Hey, you're taking away our business, because I think cloud drains is just a small percentage of their business. They're more interested in on the bigger projects.
Do you run advertising regularly, or do you stick to SEO and PR?
Yes, so we do paid advertising on social media platforms like Facebook. For example, our some of our videos that people respond to, we use that as a sort of try to bring awareness to new people, and it works really well.
I imagine a big opportunity is surrounding the folks who are looking for plumbing issues, like from the search to the article that they read. That whole
Yeah.
process, those people
Yes.
should be seeing your ads because they have the exact challenge that you have the solution for.
Yes, exactly. Especially people who are currently in the middle of a clog drain, or who have had a clog drain maybe in the last 3 months. They really know that pain. So selling to them is like the easiest thing compared to trying to convince somebody whose drains who may clog, once every 2 years. So those are the kind of customers we try to find, we try to target, and show them our products and our reviews, and it seems to work quite well for us.
What does 2021 look like for you? Where do you grow? What are you focusing on?
Good question. We have some new products. Every year we've released some new products. So we have some new products coming out. We also have some new retail partners um, that are potentially testing in their stores. And if those tests go well, we hope that by the end of the year, we'll be in all or most of their stores. So it's that same strategy we've been doing from the beginning, just new items, refining our current items, to make sure they're best as they can be, and adding new customers, new channels. We haven't really focused internationally too much. That might be maybe next year, but that's still in the cards as well.
And I understand you have a special offer for the folks who get to this podcast.
Yes, I believe we submitted to you a coupon code. Oh,
Yeah,
there it
the
is.
code is hair. I don't know if you can see it. The
Yes,
code is hair
hair at tubshroom.com. Yeah, and you could try our products, and I think you're gonna love them.
for 20% off. Buy now. Don't pay the plumber so much money tomorrow when you can unclog your drain
Yes,
today.
yes.
Got a face for radio for me. um, cool. Well, very good. How can people reach you? I mean, if they want to learn about distribution, if they want to get in touch with you for business things, what's the best way for them to reach out for you?
My LinkedIn, if you just search my name, I'm there. Tubshroom.com. You could send an email to our contact. Our email on there, which is support@tubshroom.com. You could email me directly if you'd like. Solyman@tubshroom.com. Solyman. So yeah, you could find me easily.
And
um,
and apparently
yeah,
Solomon is a great stocking stuffer for the holidays.
yes, absolutely. And for spring cleaning and which is right around the corner.
I don't know if I'd get any love from my wife if I got her this for the holidays. I have to think about that. I think it's better
I don't
than
know.
like,
We've received a lot of messages that from couples that say, "Hey, you saved our relationships because we would always fight when it was a grain of who would have to clean it."
that's funny. So that's an angle. Save your relationship in these
Yes.
tough COVID times. Get the Tub
We've
Shroom.
used that actually. Yes.
Really?
We use that, yes. Well, not the COVID part, but save relationship. Yeah.
That's funny. I like that. And did that work? Did that do any better than the standard buy now ads?
Yeah, no, people shared with their spouses or partners, and they said, check this out. So yeah, definitely, we got good response on that one.
Very cool. Solyman Najimi, co-founder and president of the Shroom Company. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the LA Business Podcast. If you like what we're doing on this podcast, please consider subscribing on Apple or Google Play, leaving a 5-star review, and sharing with your friends. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations for a guest you'd like to hear on this podcast, please email me, robert@brillmedia.co. Thank you. Have a fantastic day.